something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear.
Welcome to Meet the Candidate, and today we're going to meet the candidate for the U.S. Senate here in Nevada, Sarah Gazala. Sarah, thank you for coming in.
Thank you, John. Thank you for having me.
Happy to. The goal here is I want the voters to know who's running for which office and why they should vote for them, because I want the voters to be educated and understand who is out there and who's running. So I appreciate you coming in and help us get that goal. And let's tell the people out there why Sarah should be a candidate. I mean, you're virtually unknown. Mm-hmm. Not very many people know you. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have a tough journey because of that. Mm-hmm. So what makes you, or what can convince people? What about you? Mm-hmm. What about Sarah makes you qualified to run for the Senate or perform the duties?
Good question, and thank you for having me too, John.
My pleasure.
Well, I feel I have a very diverse background that is required for the United States Senate seat. Sorry. My life has been all about politics since the time I was born. Due to my family's relations to the diplomatic and international community. A little bit about my background. My stepdad was an international attorney for the World Bank. He's deceased now, but up until the age of 17, I was under diplomatic status. That's about the time that he retired. And with that experience there, I had an opportunity to travel and see the world and live abroad in other parts of the world.
So you get a chance to experience different cultures.
Yes, different cultures, and how people are in different parts of the world, and how their governments operate in other parts of the world and stuff like that. So
is that what got you interested in politics initially?
I grew up in it, and I just became very interested, and it was part of my life from the moment I came out of my mom's womb. So
well, tell us about your mom.
Well, my mom, she's her side of the family originates from Aswan. They're coming from the tribe of Nubia, and my great grandfather was the mayor, including a sheriff for that a small town in Cairo called Maadi, which is a very large international diplomatic community. So again, there's more of this political background, even on my mother's side of the family. And she, when my stepdad retired from the World Bank, they divorced, and she remarried to an Air Force veteran. And soon after that, my life started to change in a different aspect. I started seeing the world of the military, and how the military how the military operates.
Right.
So I never really got that perspective, because I was mostly seeing how governments operate in politics and stuff like that. So now I'm seeing a different perspective. Let me think here. I've traveled to a lot of countries. Been to like Germany and UK and Morocco, Egypt.
I love the UK.
Yeah, it's nice.
And I think traveling is good in that it gets you exposed to a lot of different people, a lot of different thinking, and kind of makes you more of a well-rounded human being.
I do
because
too.
People who have never got to travel beyond their city limits really don't know. We're all the same. No matter where you go in the world, we're all the same.
Mm-hmm. It's true. We're all human. So my background is very diverse one, just from the travels alone. I lived in countries such as I lived in Egypt. I lived in Uganda. I lived in Kuwait even, and I've pretty much traveled all around the U.S., parts of even up into Canada and parts of South America too. I've traveled to.
And this was all before you were 17?
No, just overall throughout my whole entire life.
okay.
Yeah, so a lot of travels throughout my life.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm enjoy traveling and seeing the world and meeting people and seeing different cultures. And yeah, it's very important, especially if you're looking to impact the international community. You need to know about the international community, because running
One
for
would
U.S.
hope.
Senate, running for U.S. Senate just doesn't have to deal with what's going on within your own state or within your nation, but even what's going on in the international community also. This is important.
Because you're dealing with worldwide issues.
Yes, exactly. That's true. Yes.
And you're called on to make decisions based on what the heck's going on in the world.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I lived in California for a while, and while living in California, I was involved in politics in California. I worked in a few elected officials' offices on an intern basis and worked on their campaigns also. Trying to think here. And plus even assisted in participating in human rights groups. So, and this is a big deal for me. I'm a humanitarian, and I believe that, it's protecting the rights of humans is very important, because, when you do go out and see the world, you find that there's a commonality. We're all human. It doesn't matter.
We're all in this
Yeah.
together.
So I'm a very big I'm a big humanitarian.
Okay. I believe you.
Yes.
From what little I know, I think that you're right there.
Let me see.
So tell me about your educational background.
I have a bachelor's degree in international security and conflict resolution with a minor in
Wait.
political science.
Conflict resolution?
Yes.
You have a degree in that.
Yes.
You can get a degree in conflict resolution.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. I had no
There's,
idea.
it's sort of, they kind of implement some mediation classes in there on how to resolve conflicts. Yeah.
So that could help with when you're working with people who don't agree with you.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
But that's fascinating. I'm gonna have to check that out. That's interesting.
Well, you gotta. I'm all about finding solutions to issues. I really do want to find solutions to issues that are going to better the people. So,
So it's not going to be hooray for me and to heck with you?
No, that doesn't work that
Good.
way for me. No,
Okay.
The issues are very important to address, and if we need to find a common ground and take care of the people need to be, need to come first.
Yeah, because like I said, we're all in this together.
We are. I also have a master's degree in special education, and I've been teaching since the age of 17. So
Wow.
I love children a lot. I really do. This is our future, first of all, and they're going to make an impact one day. And it's
If
wonderful.
we teach them correctly.
Correctly, exactly. So you want to impact them the right way so they can make that impact in the future too.
So, and talking about education, because this is an important point for me as well. It's easy to go to school, read the books, and just learn what you're being taught. To me, what I think is important is that we teach our children to think for themselves
Exactly.
and not take everything for granted, and just because this is the way it's always been, this is the way it should always be. Children should be taught to basically look at the situation and make decisions that are going to benefit everybody as a whole. Does that make sense?
That does make a lot of sense.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Good. So I'm not out in left field there.
no.
Good.
Let me see. I've been teaching since the age of 17, but I've been working for the school districts since 2004. In fact, I've been living in Nevada since 2003. So,
I was going to ask you, how long you've been here. So thank you for answering my question.
and so, Since 2004, I've been working for the school district, and like I said, my degree is my master's is in special education. So I work with special needs students. Right now, I'm in a self-contained setting with 14 wonderful students. I really am so blessed to have the students that I have in my classroom.
And when you say special needs, can you give us some examples
Yeah.
of the types of special needs?
They're severely physically and mentally challenged.
Okay.
So, I don't want to label them in such a derogatory way, but
I understand that, and it is difficult because we never know, how to say certain things, and I'm always
they have their limitations,
right.
And they come into this world. It's already a very challenging situation for them. I mean, just anyone like you or me, it's already challenging. But even for someone with a disability,
mental or physical disability,
yes, it's already
right?
very challenging. And so,
autism. Do you deal with
yes,
any autistic
autism
children?
and Down syndrome, and it's just so
Okay.
I've all across the spectrum.
There's a group here in town. I think it's called Majestic. Are you familiar with them?
No, I don't think. No, I don't.
They
don't
work
recall.
with special needs kids, and they basically are kind of a theater group. And I've had some dealings with them, and they're phenomenal. You should check them
Check
out.
them out.
You should check them out.
I'm gonna check them
I'll
out.
get the information for you and tell you. But yeah, I've met some of the kids there, and it's just it's touching. So
It is.
yeah.
It's So I would love for people to meet my students. My daughter's had an
Well, bring 'em on.
opportunity. My daughter's had an opportunity to work in the classroom with me, and they're beautiful students. They're wonderful. I'm very
souls.
blessed. Yes, and I teach them functional life skills because they're as
So
severe.
that they can become semi-independent.
Exactly. As severely challenged as they are, it is important that they have the ability to open up a bag of food, be able to go use the toilet by themselves, put some clothes on, write their names, simple things like that we take for granted.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've been doing this for how long?
With special education since 2004,
Okay.
but just children in general since the age of 17.
That's I'm not sure I could do that. I'm not sure that I could go home every night knowing what these kids are up against and not break down. How do you do that?
I do break down. I break down. I do. There are times when I just like, oh my God, you really, your heart just breaks.
Yeah, so you're doing something that you love.
I do love the children, and I want to see so much more better for them.
Good.
I do, and
Good.
for humanity in general. So.
Well, it's and there's all kinds of sayings out there, and there so and so said this and so and so said this, and I spout them all the time, and I have no clue who said what. But and it was basically that a society is judged on how it treats the least of its citizens, and to me, I think that's very important. So that it's easy to say, well, they're second-class citizens, or they don't count. Let's put them in an institution. Let's shove them away. And to me, that says a lot about us as a country. That if you're willing to do that you got no business being here. But so anyway, so I applaud you for trying to make their lives better.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
you're
it.
welcome.
Thank you so much. So going back to your original question, because it's like
I know I get sidetracked. I'm sorry, but that's what you have to put up with when you come on this show. So,
I was
tell
saying
us a little bit more about your background.
So I was saying, my background is one of diversity, with much life experience that I feel is an important qualification for someone serving in the United States Senate. As a U.S. Senator, does not just represent the state, but they represent the nation and the international community, and of course, all the people. So, and I know I have the qualifications to serve as the U.S. Senator, just from my own background alone and what life has served me.
So, you see this as a job?
I see this as this is this is me.
Okay.
This is me.
So this is something that you want to do, and I think that you would be good at it. But it's something that it's easy to get into politics, serve 2 or 3 terms, and then you get your retirement for the rest of your life. So I got to ask this question: what about term limits? How are
Well,
you?
of course, there has to be term limits. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I come in.
So you
if,
have-
if
you're-
I get elected, for example, I wouldn't want to sit there and do this all my life.
Right.
But this is me. I do want to be there for the people. I
Right.
want to serve the people. I am a public servant. I have been serving the people, and I will continue to do so, whether it's in public office, in a classroom, or however it goes.
I have had the good fortune to meet a lot of, I'll call them politicians, and I do not mean that in a derogatory way, but who have turned out and are doing just that. They have not given up on public service or working for the community. They have gone on to be active in the communities
Exactly.
and try to continue helping, and I admire
And this is
that.
important.
And so I hope that you will continue to do the same
course.
too, if and when you term out. So
Always, and will continue to do so.
yep. So a little bit more about what you think that you can do, for the people here in Nevada.
Well, from hold on one second. from from all of what life has dealt me, there are certain things that are just me, such as I'm a humanitarian, like I've already explained to you, who cares for the people and what the people need. I'm a public servant who will fight tirelessly for what needs to be done for the people, and for the people, the state, the nation, and of course humanity. And plus, I'm an educator who wishes the public be informed and an educated one also. Sorry.
Which is why we're doing this show.
Exactly.
Is to
And
educate the voters, because I'm hoping that this will be an opportunity for candidates like yourself that do not have tons of money behind them to get your message out to the people.
yes. And
Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. I
Well,
keep interrupting.
I was going to say that for me, the objective is to put the people first.
Right.
Yeah. And because the people are what make this nation.
What do you think? What do you think of some of the critical issues facing the state of Nevada right
Education right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very concerned about what's going on with our educational system. For example, I feel we need to dig deeper into the educational system. From what I can see, we need to address the budget first off. Why
we have too much money in the education system?
where did the money go? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
So maybe a forensic audit or something like that. To
Yes,
figure
that
out
would
where the hell
exactly
are we
is.
spending our money?
Yeah, where is it going? Because last I checked, it's now up to $100 million that is unaccounted for, which is very, disturbing. Let's see here. We need to also address how our monies are being allocated. Are they going into the classroom? Where's the money going? So yes, an audit is.
Why the hell does a teacher have to spend their own money to be buying supplies for the classroom?
Because there's not enough money in the budget.
That's criminal. That's criminal. The money in that budget is to educate the students, not to pay salaries.
Well, it doesn't always work
I'm
that
sorry.
way.
Never
I'm
mind.
sorry. It's like I would love to address that. I really would. I mean, if I was in there, yes, I would definitely would want to address that too. Because where's the money going? It needs to be making its way into the classrooms. But I've heard a lot of different things, and I don't want to just accuse anybody of anything without having real actual proof.
And that's good. Don't throw rocks unless you know that you've got a target.
Yeah. So.
But, so the other thing with the education is, and I'm sure you're more than aware of this, is the dropout rate that we have here.
Yes, it's
I mean,
huge.
it is getting better, but it's still way way out there.
I think that has a lot to do with, again, going back to the budget. You want to keep the teachers in the classroom, but it doesn't seem to be the situation. This is a very transient town, and if you're having budget issues, you're gonna have difficulty, of course, keeping the teachers in the classroom, paying them well. And recently, the school district just had a hiring freeze, so that doesn't help anything. So,
Which is insane because we start every year with a shortage of teachers,
yep,
but yet we have a hiring freeze.
on top of it,
Right.
and that doesn't help at all.
So we're going to take a break here at the end of summer or at the beginning of summer, and we're going to come back needing a couple thousand more teachers.
And this is very discouraging for teachers. Do you think they're going to want to come to this state, for example, or even the ones that are already here? Do you think they're going to want to pick up a job knowing that there could be a hiring freeze at any moment, and
Well, it's certainly
the salary scale
Yeah.
too is being challenged all the
they
time,
sure
which
as
is
hell
not
aren't doing it for
appropriate.
the money.
No, apparently not.
It has to be a special calling. So
And this also hurts the classroom sizes.
well, duh.
Yeah, and then
But,
you
I mean,
wonder
there's-
why we have a
There's
dropout
30
issue.
and 40 kids in some classrooms.
And plus, we're the lowest on the totem pole as far as standard of education goes. We're like what 49.50 right now, which is
well,
that doesn't help
I
us
think
either.
we
So
jumped up to 48, but
oh wow, watch out.
hey, it's a step in the right direction, right?
We're growing now. Let me think.
Well, we got a big school district anyway.
Yeah, we do have a very big. We're one of the largest school districts, in fact, in the nation.
We're like 4th or 5th or 6th.
Yes, yeah, I believe it's 5th right now. So just growing exponentially, which is a big issue. Let me think. Was there anything else there?
I got a ton of stuff. But so being a veteran, let's talk about veterans issues. How do you stand there?
Oh, good question. So, like I was saying, my mother remarried to an Air Force vet. He spent 28 years in the military, in the Air Force.
Is that how
And
you got to Vegas? Was he stationed here?
he was
at
stationed
Nellis?
here, yes.
Okay.
He was trying to remember. Let me ask my daughter. Senior Master Sergeant Cotton for the Red Horse Squadron. Yes.
Okay.
He's spent deployed many times to Afghanistan and Iraq. 28 years in the military. God bless him. And let me tell you, it's the transitioning process for our vets is a very difficult one. My daughter just got out of the Air Force this April. Yeah, and her
She looks kind of young to be in the Air Force.
she is. You want to come say hi? No, okay. She's like, no.
So, speaking of veterans, and that leads me to law enforcement, because we recently had a shooting here in Las Vegas
Yes.
on the 1st of October. What do you think about stricter gun laws, or background checks, or how do we? I mean, this guy had, I don't know how many weapons, 18, 28, or whatever, that he was able to, the bumper stocks and the whole thing. What?
First of all, I don't know what's going on with the media. I'm kind of conflicted with what I'm seeing on the media. So, they're saying one thing and then something else. And so all I want to say is that I'm in agreement with what our president has to say. We need to preserve our Second Amendment rights. Those rights are to protect us in case of, we're attacked. So let me give an example.
Please do.
Yes. Okay. So someone breaks into my house.
Right.
Okay. And I got a gun. I'm going to use it.
Where is your gun?
It's in a safe place
Okay.
that no one else
So
is.
it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Somebody has just busted into your house, and they're armed. How long is it going to take you to get to your gun?
Good question. I don't know. Shouldn't take too long.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
It's the Second Amendment. I am a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. I am not a supporter of automatic weapons, bumper stocks, ridiculously oversized magazines, people with mental health issues owning weapons, people with alcohol issues owning weapons.
And
That's what gun control
they need
is
to be vetted.
for me. And no one has ever said anything about taking away your guns. We have a right to have our guns.
Exactly.
And we should.
We should. Exactly. I agree with
and
you.
we just need more education
Yes.
and better vetting of who owns a gun.
Exactly. This is exactly it.
And there's no reason for you to have an automatic weapon. And if you are saying that, well, I got to have an automatic weapon to protect myself from the military, which is, I've heard that dozens and dozens of times. In case my government comes down here and wants to kick in my door, I'm protecting myself. If the government wants to come down and the military wants to come down and kick in your door, you're dead. You don't have a chance. So
That's a good point you're making there too.
It's we have to stop this gun control means we're going to take your guns away. No, it means we need to think about and we need to be smarter.
Who are we giving these guns to?
That's exactly right.
So if someone goes ahead and thinks that, hey, I'm just going to pick up my semi-automatic weapon and just start blowing people away, and because this is my Second Amendment rights that I'm, practicing here. No, this is not the same thing.
But there's a number of them out there.
Well, there's
And
you
let's
have to
say
draw
that
the line.
Let's say that every one of those attendees at that concert had a weapon.
Let's say they did.
Let's say they did.
Then
And
they would
all had weapons.
then they're exercising their constitutional rights by protecting themselves.
But I'm saying that do you think any less people would have died?
I feel so. That would have made the shooter think twice.
I don't think so.
I feel so.
Okay.
But
But that's what makes this country great. We can disagree.
absolutely. Absolutely. So
And just because you disagree with me doesn't make you right. No. Sorry, I'm teasing you. Go ahead.
no
I'm
worries.
sorry. Let's get back to you. You're running for the Senate, I hear.
Right? Well, there's definitely a serious difference between being a terrorist and being someone who wants to protect their home, their family, their country.
Right.
Big difference.
Right. But until somebody goes off the deep end, you don't always know.
So we need to do a better job at vetting and educating.
We need to do a good job with
This
mental
is-
health,
Yes.
with education, with employment.
This is
with-
gun. This is
That's
the
gun
right.
control.
Yeah, that's the right gun
Right.
control to have right there.
Right.
But don't take the guns away from the people.
Nobody's taking your guns away.
I'm just saying.
I know
Don't
that.
even talk like that.
Okay.
All right. Let me see. What I know there's more.
There's more that you want to talk about?
Yeah. Trying to think what else was there that as far as terrorism is a big thing. Thinking about it, talking about terrorism.
I think
Yeah,
that was
this is a big issue. It's on my platform. The whole terrorist situation.
So you're against terrorism.
I am totally against terrorism.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Oh my God. Building the wall is very important to me. I feel that this is essential to build the wall. I feel that we need to secure our borders and we need to be careful who we're letting into the country.
Did you know that 47% of the illegal aliens enter this country by airplane?
No, I did not know that it was 47%. Thank you for the statistics.
That is the
I knew
the
that
honest to God truth.
there was quite a few,
Yeah,
but
that's how they come in.
that's a lot.
Okay, so 53% will keep out by building a wall.
Okay.
Okay, so do we stop the airplanes too?
Well, I think that's being addressed also because we're looking to be careful about who we're letting into the country as far as certain countries go. So, what is it? Yemen and Somalia and a few other of these countries where terrorist activity is very high. We have to be very careful who's coming from those countries to our country. So.
Okay, so let's take those countries and say we're not going to let anybody in from there. And I'm just, I'm going off the deep end here, but we're not going to let anybody in from there. So those people who are involved in terrorist activities are going to move to a different country. Right? They're going to say, okay, well, if I'm from here, I can't get into the U.S. and I still want to attack the U.S. And so I'm going to go over here to Canada.
Well,
And
then
now
they
I'm gonna
can come in from the
Canada.
border, yes. So that doesn't.
doesn't help us.
No.
Or I'm going to move to Hawaii.
Well,
or you know,
I'm going to go to the policy that I see that President Trump is developing.
Okay.
And
that's
it
fine.
looks like the policy that he's developing is one where we're going to build stronger relations with the international community.
Right.
And we're going to tell.
Which is a must.
It is. And, you know, as America is working on making America great again, cleaning up their act within America, these other countries need to consider the same thing too. So
But we have no control over these other countries.
no, we don't. But
Except we can stop giving them money, and then, you know, and then it's like, well, never mind, I'm sorry.
you're good. But it is a step in the right direction.
And hopefully we always will be going in the right direction.
I mean-
and taking steps in that direction.
And this is just coming from a teaching background that, you know, in order to give out the right message, you have to be a good role model of that message.
Yes, you have to practice what you preach.
Exactly.
Okay, so getting a little off track here, if you had the opportunity to introduce a specific bill in the Senate, what would you introduce that addresses a particular veterans issue?
If I would introduce a Senate bill regarding veterans issue, it would have to be a bill to provide more appropriate care for our veterans. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you define more appropriate care?
Well,
I ask this question because I am a veteran, and all of my medical care comes from the VA. I am very, very pleased with the care that I've gotten up to this point.
and you're
However-
one of many, but go on.
However,
yes.
the difficulty is getting into the system. Once you're in the system, and I can only speak for here in Nevada because I've never had treatment in other areas of the country where I do know that there are problems because I have friends who are veterans in other areas of the country. But shouldn't veterans? Well, never mind. I'm sorry. It's your bill. You say what you want. I'm just
Well,
because everything I'm talking about is from a personal level.
what you have to share is great because I've come across some that say, you know, what the VA provides is great, but then there are others who are like, no, it's not working for me, and I feel I should have the opportunity to go to whichever doctor I want to go and, you know, seek the best if I need to seek the best.
And here's my response to that, because I have gotten medical care outside of the VA and by the VA, and if I had my choice, I'd go to the VA every time
Okay.
because they spend more time with me. The doctors do. They seem to care. Where when I go to a private physician, it's like, okay, what's the matter? Okay, here, take this. See you later, and you're out. I mean, it is all they want to do is push you out, and not all of them. There are exceptions.
This really goes back to the whole healthcare system.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Which is another issue altogether.
They're drug pushers,
And,
that's all they want to do is they want to create customers.
And I think they're just over, like, it's just too much that's going on, and that, at no point is the doctor being a doctor anymore because they're having to deal with all this, deal with the health insurance companies, and, you know, they're on phone calls, letters, bills, and where's the doctor have the time to just be a doctor? And I don't feel like that everybody really needs health insurance in this country. I feel that those who are terminally ill.
Wait.
Go
We
ahead.
don't need health insurance, but we do need insurance to drive a car. Why? If you own an automobile, you are required by law to have automobile insurance.
Yes, in case you get into an accident, it covers for.
But what if you don't get into any accidents? You've never had an accident in your life, but you still have to have insurance.
That's a good question.
I know it is.
It is a very good question.
Yeah.
You're right.
And-
you know,
and-
if you
and
don't,
so that's
if you-
why
and
I
so
can't-
they bring the amount down, saying, okay, well, you know, you don't have to pay that much as everyone else because
That's
you have
correct.
very.
You haven't had any accidents? Yeah, we'll give you $20 off this year.
Yeah, right.
You
so,
know, but you've had an accident, we're going to cancel your insurance.
chances of getting into a car accident, though, are you know.
How many car accidents have you been in your life?
I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, that's fine. No. And you don't. But I'm saying
Just recently, a little too many, I think.
but that's what you have to think about. And the insurance is not because you don't go out and get insurance because you had a car accident. You go out and get insurance because in case I do. And that's what the whole healthcare system should be doing, like the rest of the industrialized world, is that, okay, I'm good now. I feel great. But I can cross the street, get hit by a car. Then what?
then
I can develop cancer. I can get this. I can get that.
that's when it should really.
Then it's too late.
Well, it should never be too late at that point. Still, I don't think that should be the situation. But this is just me talking.
Right. I understand. No.
This is where it should be taking effect. When you really do need it, because if you're perfectly healthy.
What I'm saying is
Yes.
that how do I know? Oh crap, man! I'm going to get cancer this week, so I better get some insurance today.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm good, I'm healthy, I don't need anything, and then all of a sudden you find yourself without insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So now I can't get insurance. I can't afford to get insurance. I've gone bankrupt twice in my life because of medical issues in my family. And
that's another issue.
right, because once because I didn't have the insurance, and the other because the insurance was inadequate. And so I paid all this money for all this time, and it's like, well, too bad for you. And that's what we have to stop. In other words, everyone in this country deserves medical care.
They do deserve medical care. You're right. I'm not saying that because you have a good bill of health that you don't deserve medical care. No, you should go seek medical care anytime. If you're going to go get a well checkup, go get a well checkup.
And pay for it out of your pocket.
Exactly. That would be much more, feasible.
But how many people are paying off student loans that can't go to a doctor? They can't afford to.
Exactly. They can't because they're too busy
But if
paying
they had
their medical insurance, but they're perfectly healthy, but this is getting deducted out of their paycheck when they could be paying their student loans, for example, instead, but it's an issue.
And that's what people want to know.
Yeah.
So
It is an issue.
yeah.
That needs to be addressed. Oh my God, where were we talking about?
We were talking
we're talking about
you as a
veterans.
candidate. We're talking about veterans and the bill that you were going to put before
Yes,
the Senate would be to better.
to streamline the transitional process for them, because when my daughter got out, the transitional process for her was very complicated, and they should make it a lot easier for them to know what it is that they're eligible for, and make it easier for them to get these benefits. And it seems like a lot of things are just not disclosed, and I'm not happy about that. And you have to ask so many questions, and they should just be like right there.
So how do you keep people from cheating?
Cheating on.
Say I got this or I got that, and as a veteran, and I think that's basically what everybody's trying to do. Is we would rather turn away 10 people who need help just so we don't have to help the one person who doesn't. And I believe just the opposite.
I
If
think
you're a
everybody
veteran,
deserves it.
if
Yeah,
you're a
they
veteran,
deserve it. They
You
deserve
get
it.
free health care no matter what.
You
Because you
serve
put your
the
life on the
exactly.
line. You
They
took
deserve
a chance.
it. This
You
is
didn't know
and
when
this
you
is
went into the military whether or not you were going to come out alive or not.
exactly
Whether we were in
and
the middle
they
of a
come
war
back-
or...
It's just too much. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
They deserve.
You're preaching
they-
to the choir here.
I'm telling you, they deserve to they deserve the care, and there should be no question. It should just be like, here it is. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yep. Here's your card. Go do it.
Yes.
So, another issue with veterans is suicides and
Homelessness, and a lot of them are incarcerated, and there's a lot of issues. There are mentally, physically, there's a lot of issues.
Well, you take a 17-year-old kid and you put him out in the middle of the desert or the jungle, and you got people shooting at him. Can't help but affect you. And if it doesn't, then you should be worried.
I'm a mother and I'm an educator, and let me tell you, thinking about something like that is very disturbing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would want the best care for those individuals when they come back.
Yep.
Just a few other issues that I have.
No, that's fine. That's why you're here. We want to know what the hell you're thinking.
I was gonna say we're talking about term limits.
Yes.
And
You said you believe in term limits.
I do believe in term limits, and there was other issues that were important that I wanted to discuss.
I make you nervous, don't I?
I think so. I can't think all of a sudden.
You shouldn't be nervous. Because we talked about veterans issues. Yep. Term limits.
Obamacare.
Okay,
yeah.
we're talking about health care. So,
Yes.
So you think it should be repealed?
Yes, I do feel that it should be repealed.
Why?
And It's not working for everybody. I don't understand how is it, they call it universal health care. Am I mistaken by this?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm
No,
I'm,
no,
I'm
you're not
confused.
mistaken.
I'm confused then, because if it's universal, then how is it helping everybody? I see.
So how is repealing it and taking away 3, 4, 5, 15 million people off of the rolls, how is that helping? Why not take a look at the situation instead of saying, hey, this isn't working, let's get rid of it? And you more than anyone who has a degree in conflict resolution should be thinking, well, I'm not going to tell you what you should be thinking, but we have a situation here and it's not working for everybody.
No,
How do we make it work for everybody instead of just saying, no, go away, that's it?
It would be nice to personalize it. I mean, like we were just discussing. I mean, it's some people, hey, I don't feel I need health insurance. When I feel like I need to go to the doctor, I will go to the doctor and just take care of it that way. And like you, you just want to deal strictly with the VA.
You have a single mom with 2 kids who just lost her husband 2 years ago in Afghanistan.
Okay.
Okay? So her VA benefits are probably somewhere around $500 or $600 a month.
Okay.
Okay? So now she has to go out and get a job. She has to pay for childcare. Okay? The children get sick. She doesn't have any insurance. She can't afford insurance because she's putting food on the table. So what do we do for people like that?
Well, children should just automatically have, because they spend so much time in the doctor's offices from the time they're born till like about age 12. They're in and out of the doctor's office quite regularly. And so with the elderly.
And those are the people that are suffering the most.
Yes, and
so
with the elderly. And so you look at our veterans too. You look at the disabled. You look at the chronically. Those ones automatically, they do need it.
But why can't we all have it?
I don't see why we.
Every other industrial country in the world does it, and it works. But the
thing is that if it's costing if you have good health, it shouldn't be costing you so much money.
But it's not going to cost you anything.
Well,
your tax dollars are paying for that.
This is the thing. What's the situation with Obamacare, though? It is costing a lot of money with Obamacare.
But that's my point. It shouldn't have to.
It will, exactly. But it is.
But so why not fix that?
I would love to fix it.
So you have huge corporations that have tax shelters in the billions of dollars all over the world. They're paying no income tax. We're going to cut their rate so they have to pay less than nothing.
Okay.
So let's just take one of those companies and say, hey, you're going to pay taxes. You want to do business in this country? You're going to pay taxes.
Yeah, why not, right?
Okay?
That'd be great.
That covers your health care right there. So everybody wants to point to the single mother with 2 kids who's getting food stamps at what, $300 a month? And that's breaking the budget? Bullshit. It's these huge corporations that are taking the billions and billions of dollars out of our pocket into other countries and then making it so. So anyway, if I ruled the world, I will shut up now.
No, you're good. I like where you're coming from. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, how are you going to address these issues? But this is the thing. You would have to sit and talk with the people to find out
some of the issues
the resolutions.
Are going to have to deal with in the Senate.
Exactly. I would be arrogant to sit there and say that I know all the answers. That's why, again, my degree deals with finding resolutions to conflicts. Right. And in order to find these things, you have to sit and talk to people. And it is a process of mediation. You need to find out, how are we going to resolve this? I don't have all the answers.
Okay, so when you become elected and you get seated in the Senate, I hope that you'll come back to me.
Yes.
and I'll help you figure some of this stuff out.
I will definitely.
Okay.
I'm going to reach out to everybody. Believe me, I'm going to be, hey, because it's the people that
Okay,
make the
we're
nation.
getting a little bit short on time, so
Okay.
let's kind of finish this up. And what else do you want to talk about? This is your chance.
So I want to talk about other issues such as like voter fraud. This needs to be addressed. We need to discourage illegal immigrants to not vote because this ruins their chances to be citizens and encourages a corrupt, fraudulent voting system. And I have an issue also with there being too many regulations on small businesses. Small businesses are the backbone of our country, and we need the small businesses to thrive. We
Okay.
do.
And there's not enough on the big businesses. Listen, I grew up in Southern California. Okay, one of the smoggiest places in the country, and
We need more regulations.
through regulations of large corporations and large businesses, they were able to clean up the air in Southern California. So there is a fine line where we need some regulations.
For the larger, yes, most definitely,
Right.
yeah. And
But
you know, if you have a small little store, you need to survive.
Of course.
With all these regulations on you, it's really hard.
because you're the ones that's paying the taxes, not the large corporations.
Correct.
How did I get back to that? I'm sorry.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
know.
Maybe I'll just leave and let you finish that.
I feel that we need to protect our Constitution. This is another issue that I'm seeing every time I switch on the news. It's really disturbing to see what's going on out there. There's people are taking the demonstrations just out of control. I don't know what happened to peaceful demonstrations, but if you watch, it just seems like so much race baiting and just a lot of hate baiting going on out there. And it's
But there's
it's,
a lot that's not too.
I feel like it's taken away from our constitutional rights and
In what respect? Can you clarify that?
well, there's a very
We have the right to assemble.
Yes, we do. There's a very large liberal movement that's going on, and from how I'm seeing it, it's just the demonstrations are extremely too violent, and this is destroying our freedom of speech to some degree to mobilize together and protest peacefully. This is just
Like we did in the 60s,
right.
so that
Whatever.
we can shoot kids at Kent State. Okay. I just want to make sure.
Okay, no.
It's not okay to shoot demonstrators.
No.
I mean, that's what our country is built on.
We need to refrain to, we need to respect our Constitution. You want to have demonstrations, keep them peaceful, really, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Even like the whole thing with the whole gun control. It's, if you're a terrorist, yeah, we need to take your guns away. I'm sorry. If
Right.
you lost your mind and you don't know how to handle a gun anymore and you can't be responsible, then take that gun away. This is what I'm talking about.
Or the trucks.
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay.
I'm really going to love to see you in office.
I'll keep it entertaining. Other issues. We need to vet those who enter our country, and I've mentioned this before, and encourage those who are in our country to become citizens.
Okay, so if you have an illegal alien, and let's take that back a step. You have a young man who's 17 years old who was brought to this country when he was 9.
Okay.
Okay, from Mexico, wherever. So he joins the military. When he gets out of the military, should he be automatically become a citizen?
I would, yes, they should automatically,
Yes,
yes.
okay.
Serving your country, yes. Then you are abiding to the Constitution, you respect the Constitution, you respect the laws, this is a big service. Yeah, you should become a citizen automatically.
So I've been in the construction industry most of my life, and I've worked with a lot of Hispanic who are, for the most part, the large majority, very hard-working people, and are here to make their family better, and to try to make their kids make a better life for their kids. They really, and to everyone's misinformation, really don't get any benefits. I've got guys that have been hurt on the job that will not go to the hospital because they're going to be turned away.
Yeah.
But you can't blame the kids.
No, but
So, anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked
we do
again.
need to encourage those who are legally here to become legal.
Right.
If they are willing to respect
we need to give
the laws.
them a path. We need to,
Yeah.
whether it's some type
Yeah,
of public service or,
Yeah, you want to stay in this country, then yeah, come on, let's work on this.
prove that you're part of us.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You respect this country. You love it. This is where you want to live and grow old, and your children to live and grow old, then you need to make the transition.
Let's talk a little bit about some local stuff that's going on here. I know that this is kind of a hot button for a lot of people around here, but there is a lot of supposed corruption in the family court system.
Oh God, yes.
So
Yes.
you agree with that? Or
I do. I totally
you've
agree
seen
with
it?
that. Yes, I've seen it. I know firsthand. So
How do we combat that? How do we fight that? How do we?
well, of course,
How do we correct it?
exposing it is the first thing. And I know a lot of people have been trying to expose it, and the media is not jumping on board to expose this for whatever reason.
Do you think that the message is one thing, how the message is presented is another? And if you are presenting a message in a way that most people are going to go "Pfft," and not really take, because of the way you're presenting the message, that people are not taking it seriously?
Maybe it could be part of it, but I have spoken to many constituents, and there's definitely something going on. I've even spoken to attorneys on top of that, and let me assure you, there are some corrupt attorneys out there. There are definitely corrupt judges out
big
there.
surprise there.
And I'm seeing the rights of many parents, mothers, and fathers, being dissolved, and it's not appropriate. And this is the family unit needs to come first again.
We had an attorney, a local attorney, as a guest on one of the shows here recently, who was asked, what message would you like to, give out to the people? And I'm laughing because it's sad enough to be funny. Is that if you are in a domestic dispute, or you want a divorce or something like that, the worst thing you can do is get into the family court system.
Right.
Try to find a way to work it out.
Exactly.
Do not get yourself involved.
And I'm just going to add this in here right now.
Please do.
I'm coming across disgruntled parents who are using the corrupt court system to their advantage.
Absolutely.
And this needs to be exposed also.
Well, it's in the attorney's best interest and the family court's best interest to keep those people engaged in the system.
Yes.
Because the longer they're engaged, the more money they make.
Absolutely. And this
And resolving a situation.
these broken families, they're already coming into the 90% of the families that come into the courts are already broken. And they're coming in there looking to find a resolution.
Or revenge. Let's not go down that road.
Well,
okay?
if this is their form of resolution,
Yeah.
either way, it's a resolution.
Right.
Okay. And if you are a judge or an attorney and who's working for the family court, your first priority should be to find a suitable resolution for both sides. If you're breaking apart the family more, then you need to be held accountable, because this is unethical.
That's because these are people's lives.
It is.
So, anyway,
It is people's lives. It is. So yeah, it's extremely unethical and
So
unacceptable.
How about another hot button? And that's women's issues,
Yes.
especially in light of what's going on today in the news.
Everyone's sexually harassed, apparently.
Yeah, like I said, I have three attorneys on retainer, so that's not true. I made that up. I'm trying to make a joke, and
But it
make
is
light of
a big issue.
Yes, it
I
is.
can't believe how big an issue it is. And
But it's, I think, it's always been an issue.
it has.
But now it's out in the daylight.
It is, and it's good that it's being exposed, and it's disturbing that it wasn't being exposed, that it was being disclosed, and that they, that our own Congress, has their slush fund here, and think that it's appropriate to keep this under wraps. No, I'm sorry. They need to give all that money back that they've been taking from the taxpayers and give it back to them. This is inappropriate. And those
They
litigants,
should be prosecuted.
yeah, those litigants who didn't have the right to to air what's been going on need to tell their story, and they need justice.
But do you think, I mean, as a woman, a lot of women do not want to go through the humiliation.
True, that's true. I agree with
and
you.
we all know stories of women who have been raped and then keep their mouth shut because
They
as
feel
soon as
like
they open up their mouth, they're going to get raked over the coals. And they don't want that, and so they keep quiet until they reach a point. This is just my theory. I don't know if it's true or not.
no, you're absolutely right.
But they reach a point where this is bullshit. I'm not taking it anymore. It's time for me to open my mouth.
And and it's not just women. It is.
No. And
Yeah.
it is that goes both ways.
It goes both ways, and it's affecting even our youth too.
Yeah.
And it is not appropriate, and it needs to be exposed. And we can't be hiding this anymore. And if it's happening, they have the right to speak.
Yes.
So
And not be shunned because of it.
no,
Because
it's
and it
there's
goes
not.
back to okay, if you've got 100 women that are making accusations, chances are there's one or two or three of them that are full of crap and just jumping on the bandwagon.
But the majority of them.
But that means you got 97 that weren't.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that I see people getting off on a tangent. Well, well, we found that one wasn't true. Yeah, but the other 20 were. So, anyway, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So yeah, going back to women's right, the sexual harassment, that is a big issue. And then I'm even concerned about the whole equal pay as well as equal rights needing to be addressed too. But this is not unusual. This has been going on for a long time. It's a long-lasting battle here. So
Right.
yeah, so it is on.
In your lifetime, do you see that there has been an improvement?
No.
No,
Not really.
that's-
No,
okay.
no. And this is just from my own experience.
There's been a lot of lip service.
This is just from my own experience
Right.
because I've seen what's going on in the family court side, for example, and I've heard other situations, other parents that have rights have been terminated, women's especially, through family court, and that's not appropriate. No, I'm sorry. And then, as far as pay goes, yeah, my pay is not the same as a male who's has the same amount of experience as
and
myself.
I mentioned earlier about all the time that I've spent in construction, and I look back and see what people and this goes men or women or whatever, but carpenter, for example, is making the same money today that they were 20 years ago.
Right? That's an issue also.
So there's something wrong there. Because the whole trickle down thing didn't work.
No, the standard of living is just going like this, and everybody's pay is staying right here. And
That's right.
Right, and if you're not in the tech
So if you have
industry
two
or
parents-
engineering industry, because those are the ones that are really getting paid well, or entertainment industry, you're still here.
The interesting fact that I just came across a few weeks back in doing some research was that in Germany, of all places, there is no. If you're flipping burgers at McDonald's, you get just as much respect as if you're an engineer. If you have a job and you are because you need people to flip burgers.
You do.
You need mechanics. You need people who work with their hands that may not have a degree in social, or conflict resolution, or political science, or whatever. We need those people, and we should not look down on them.
No, of course
and
not.
we should help them, earn a decent living.
There's
Because I don't understand how the more money I have, the more money I'm going to spend. And the more money I spend, the better the economy is.
well,
And so if you start taking money away from me and you cut this and you cut that and I'm not getting this and I'm not getting that, the economy's going to go to crap. I don't give a shit what the stock market is doing. The stock market is making half a dozen people a lot of money, but it's not helping the economy because that money does not go back into the system.
well,
Sorry.
we definitely have a caste system going on with our salaries.
And with your experiences all over the world, you should see that.
I do see it.
And
yeah.
I mean that's so. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
No.
No, you're
So
good.
yeah, we got to wrap this up. I mean,
Yes. Well,
like,
I want to say thank you
Please.
for having me, and
we need more of this. We need more people doing this,
thank you. I
so that
appreciate
people know who the hell's out there. Who can I vote for? Who's going to be best for what we're doing. So sorry.
Oh no.
Your turn.
And I want to say also, please reach out to me via email or my website. So my email is elect Sarah Gazala. That's elect SARAHGAZALA @gmail.com. And my website is Sarah Gazala, the number 4, Nevada. So please reach out to me. And I wish to share too that support is needed in the campaign, in my campaign, and if you wish to volunteer or contribute in any means, it's greatly needed and appreciated. So, and again, thank you so much, John, for having me on
My
the show.
pleasure. Like I said, I'm trying to hope that we're doing something good here.
Yes.
And I'd like to thank all of you for watching Meet the Candidate. Keep your eye out. We've got a lot more lined up. And I think that having these discourses is good for. I hope that you have learned something by the time you leave here, and I hope that I have learned something, and that we get away from this. I can't work with you. I don't want to talk with you because you don't believe the way I do.
No,
And we had that
I don't have
discussion earlier that's what makes this country great is that we sometimes disagree, but we have to find a way to make that disagreement work for us
Exactly.
and make us better.
Exactly.
And so I'd like to thank you all for coming and watching us. And Sarah, I wish
Thank
you
you.
luck.
Thank you so much. I
and
appreciate it so
my
much. Thank
problem
you.
anytime. So that's all we've got. And stand by for some other Meet the Candidates in Nevada.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.